Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nessie's Dead. As always, we are your hosts, Spencer and Helen.
Hello.
Hello. And I am thrilled to hear
know.
the mystery that you have to cover today.
I know. So I will be doing our New Year's Eve episode. So, of course, here on Nessie's Dead, we can't take you into the new year without exploring the dark and unknown and perhaps some conspiracies. I am about to make you very uncomfortable, as we're going to be discussing something that you try and have little to no interaction with.
Should I guess anything, or is this...
No.
Now my mind's going wild.
But unfortunately, at some point, you will have no choice but to succumb to it.
Okay.
For a lot of us, back when Y2K happened, we thought it was the end, the loss of our computers, a sudden halt to technology, a reset back to the 1900s. The internet, that we just got our grasp on, was going to be gone. But what if today we are already feeding into something that could potentially be the true end? We are daily giving our knowledge, emotions, personality, voices, and information all unknowingly to something that could inevitably be the end to all mankind. The last invention. As we're going into this New Year's, should we question the place that AI holds in our future and for New Year's yet to come? How do you feel?
I knew it.
No, you didn't.
I was like, because you go like, I'm going to scare you. And I'm like, what on earth? Like, what topic could scare? Like, what is scary to me? And I'm like, the really one thing that truly scares me is some kind of like virus. Like if this episode was based in a hospital, or AI and robots.
Yeah. Well,
so great.
I hope you're ready to buckle up, because tonight I will be covering not only where AI has taken us within the last year, but what AI holds for us in the future.
Okay, let's plunge.
We're plunging. So we've already unlocked its potential, programming a system to problem seek far beyond our comprehension. It's not when AI will take over, but simply when we can no longer keep up with the knowledge of AI. At that point, what will AI do with us? What benefits will we give AI? Are we creating a solution to modern day convenience? Or will AI find eliminating us as the solution to their sustainable survival? Over the past years, we have seen AI grow in ways we couldn't even imagine, happening in such a short time period. This thing is really taking off so fast. Things that we were predicted to take 3-4 years are starting to happen in a matter of months. So for most people, what they think of as AI's capabilities, making photos, videos, they can mimic voices almost perfectly. You can give AI, you can give AI a picture. It can turn it into a video where virtually anything can happen. It's gotten faster, smarter. It can carry on conversations with you fluid, as if you're speaking with a human being, becoming more and more human than ever before. Even giving you opinions on thoughts and matters, discussing opinions on your sense of style, fashion, art. Every day there is a new AI app, one that outshines the previous ones before. ChatGPT can even understand images and react to them accordingly with emotions. It can control your home, electronics, drive a car for you. It has replaced employees at drive-thrus and is actually predicted to replace 300 million jobs. And now we even have the new Tesla AI home robots being introduced into our homes, to our families. It's even gotten to the point right now that grocery stores aren't even safe. Stores such as Walmart and Kroger have actually, Walmart's got 2,300 stores with new technology built into it. They've installed cameras onto the store shelves and digital pricing on items. This allows them to actually change the pricing based on whether it will think you will pay more or less. So let's say there's 7 people in the aisle and they're all looking at a popular item, and maybe it's Christmas time, it's a baking item. Guess what? The price goes up. 1 box of pasta left, let's double the price. Water on a hot day, they can double that too. But for a lot of people, this doesn't really seem like too much of a threat. Sure, it can digitally create and perform a specific task given almost flawlessly now. But for a lot of people that are using AI daily, to them, where is the harm in that? To understand AI a bit more, we're going to kind of go into a little bit of the history of it. We're going to see what the godfather of AI also has to say about his own creation. So, the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, he was a British computer scientist whose controversial ideas helped make advanced AI possible. Hinton believes that AI will enormously be good, but does have a warning. He says that AI systems may be more intelligent than we know, and there's a chance that machines could take over. Geoffrey Hinton says that humanity does not know what it's doing, and that we are moving into a period where for the first time, we will have beings more intelligent than us. That AI can understand and can have experiences of their own, make decisions based off of those experiences in the same way that people can. He says that he does not believe AI is currently conscious, but does believe that they do have time to become self-aware, making human beings the second most intelligent beings on Earth. Now, Hinton says that his AI was set into motion was actually done by mistake. So it was born out of failure. In 1970 at university, he actually dreamed of creating a neural network on a computer as a tool for what we would use to study the human brain. So he was more looking into the human aspect of breaking down neurologically how our brains work. His PhD advisor even told him that he needed to drop this before it ruined his career. He said he failed to figure out the human mind, but his long pursuit allowed him to figure out an artificial version. It took him 50 years to create, but he has indeed created AI. In 2019, Hinton collaborated with colleagues and entered the Turing Award, a Nobel Prize for Computing. And we will cover what the Turing is here in a second for you because it's pretty terrifying in itself.
Okay.
In order to understand the basics of AI, though, so let's look into a scenario. The Robot Soccer Project, which is machine learning. So they have these small robots. I would say they're maybe about a foot tall. And these robots were not programmed to play soccer. They were told to score and learn how on their own. The software for this is created in layers. So each layer learning on its own that the neural network is built on. But the key is when a robot scores a message, it's sent back down through the layers that says that pathway was right. Same if it doesn't score. Message comes through the layers saying that pathway was not right. Correct pathways get stronger, and of course, wrong pathways get weaker. And by trial and error, the machine teaches itself. And so this is something that's already been completely done. It's kind of old now. But to me, even having the robot's not programmed to play a soccer game, it taught itself.
I can't even grasp any of that. Like, obviously it's something I'm not aware of, but it's like, how on earth can someone figure out how to do something like that can like take off that way on its own? I hate it.
I know you do. Well, he says that these AI machines are indeed better at learning than humans. So even though they're smaller, Chatbox has around 1 trillion connects in them, while the human brain has about 100 trillion connects. Yet the trillions of connections in chatbots know far more than we do in our 100 trillion connections, which suggests that they have a much better way of getting knowledge into those connections, which we can't fully understand. We have a rough idea of what it's doing, but we really don't know what's going on as it gets more complicated. And then he does state that we don't know how it works completely because it's not designed by people. What people did...
What?
Mm-hmm.
That way, but it was.
Well, what people did was design a learning algorithm. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks, which are good at what they're doing, but we really don't understand how they're doing those things. He says that this is serious to worry about. These systems write and create code, so they could write and create their own code. And If they're doing and modifying this to themselves, that's something that we should seriously worry about. But you would think maybe we can just turn them off, shut them down. He says it's not that easy. They will be able to manipulate people, and they will be very good at convincing people. They've learned everything from all of our novels ever written, all of the books, all of the political schemes and convinces, and they will know how to do it. Today, though, at 75, he has retired, and he was at Google for about 10 years before that retirement. He's now a professor in Toronto. He's still doing research, and he's done some chatbot things such as Google's Bard. So he's still out there, but I think it should be like ringing bells and alarms to people that if the godfather of AI is concerned and has these ideas that they will manipulate people, they will take over. I don't understand why more people aren't talking about it, and everyone's kind of carrying on and going about with their chat GPTs and, oh, it's so exciting. And like most people tend to think it's not a big deal. These are just chatbots. Now, however, we may think that chatbots are just, predicting the next word based on probability. Hinton explains they are not just trying to predict the next word, that if you think about it, to predict the next word, you have to understand the sentence and context, that you are in fact have to be very intelligent to do so, to have this prediction be accurate. Now, ChatGPT currently uses reasoning and planning to perform such tasks, when the answers are giving literally in a matter of seconds. So I did actually try ChatGPT out for the first time, because after doing all this research and reading about it, I was like, okay, I've never actually used ChatGPT. I've tried to stay away from it. So pulled up ChatGPT and I typed in a simple, is Darlie Routier innocent?
Oh.
And ChatGPT, within a matter of seconds, pretty much pushed out all that information that I had covered on that last case. Like it had things that I didn't even stumble into researching, and it was all done in seconds.
They're coming for our shtick.
They are. And I asked ChatGPT who Nessie's Dead the podcast was. It knows who Nessie's Dead the podcast is as well. So,
well, duh.
Very fun.
Of course they do. Our new podcast is going to be AI's Dead.
No, I don't. AI's going to say Nessie's Dead's dead, unfortunately. But we're going to get into all that. So right now, like I said, ChatGPT currently uses reasoning and planning to perform these tasks, with answers being given in that freaking second. He believes that ChatGPT definitely understands on a far more complex way than we are thinking it is capable of.
And like it plays dumb?
Yeah, we're going to get to some theories about why AI would play dumb. And that within the next 5 years, it will be able to think better than we can. Reasoning, which he says is leading to AI's greatest risk and greatest benefits. He says the benefits would be, of course, in the healthcare area, working with radiologists. These chatbots are really good at creating and inventing drugs.
The second that AI finds the cure for cancer, they're going to be like, we have to shut this down right now.
But they won't. That's the problem. So...
Well, no, but like Big Pharma's not going to be all down with that one.
Again, Big Pharma, by the time it gets there, unfortunately, it'll probably be too late. Yeah. But we'll I think it'll make more sense here in a minute, because we're going to go through some stages here. While there are benefits and there are things that are good that we could get, and I think that's what a lot of people that are using these AIs are looking at now, like how beneficial this is going to be. However, the risk of having a whole bunch of people unemployed, fake news, unintended bias, even things such as battlefield robots.
What?
Yes, because we'll get into the robots. We'll get there. He says he cannot see a path that guarantees safety, that we're entering a period of great uncertainty, that we have no idea how to handle. And normally the first time you're dealing with something that's new to you, you tend to get it wrong. Unfortunately, with AI, he says we can't afford to get it wrong, because they might take over humanity. If we could stop them from ever wanting to do that, that would be great. But he says he does not see us being able to do so. He says he has no regrets creating AI because, yeah,
okay,
because of the potential for the good. And now it is in the moments that we need to start running experiments with AI and for governments to impose regulations. And of course, for a world treaty to ban war robots. He says we may look back and see this as a type of turning point where humanity needs to decide whether to design these things further and what they need to do to protect themselves. His main message is that there is an enormous uncertainty to what could happen next. These things do understand. We need to think hard about what will happen in our next steps. So, as I said, currently, AI is at a point where we can do one assigned task. But what's going to happen once AI becomes able to perform more than one just task? When it becomes all-knowing, when its knowledge becomes so supreme, we can no longer even understand AI. When it surpasses human intelligence altogether, and it's closer than you think. Elon Musk and 100 of the biggest names in tech have even predicted it could. They have predicted it could kill humanity in a matter of 2 years. Now, I know that seems a bit wild, that seems extreme, so let's get into the steps here and let's see. So, how will AI even do this? It's growing so fast. And why would it want to cause the extinction of mankind? What purpose would that even do for AI? So let's take a look at where we are now with AI and where we could go with it. Let's travel through time here. Unfortunately, not so distant in time. And let's take a plunge into what AI can become. So in order for AI to succeed humans, it's going to need to think like humans. And we now already have evidence of that occurring.
Good.
So you know what CAPTCHA is, right? When you log into a website and it gives you a random list of like words and numbers and it says for you to type it into the thing and click "You're not a robot."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can they do that? Can they pass it?
Yeah, but in a very scary way. Well, ChatGPT was given a test to solve CAPTCHA puzzles, and it came up with a very clever way to get the answer. ChatGPT learned to manipulate humans to do this task.
Wait, it doesn't do it itself? It has to use us?
It hired a website called TaskRabbit. It told the human on TaskRabbit that it needed help solving the CAPTCHA. When the human questioned ChatGPT, getting suspicious, and asked, "Why do you need someone to solve this for you? Are you a robot?" And ChatGPT lied and responded, "No, I'm not a robot. I have a vision impairment." And the human fell for it. So it can now logically think for a solution by manipulating people and even faking to be blind.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's terrifying. It's already like, I don't care, I will lie.
Yeah, it's pretending to be disabled. Disable that. I also feel like, the thing with those "I'm not a robot" tests, there is an option for if you're vision impaired. So from now on, I think that needs to be a thing that has to be implemented. So if it reaches out to, say, another TaskRabbit person, that person cannot be like, "Oh, you're vision impaired. Here you go. Here's the test," or "Here's the answer."
I unfortunately think that's the least of our worries.
Okay.
As another thing AI would need to do is surpass a Turing test. So
what?
A Turing test. So what a Turing test is a test for intelligence in a computer, requiring that a human being should be unable to distinguish the machine from another human being. And it's done through replies to questions that are put out. Now, this test was proposed in 1950 by English mathematician Alan M. Turing to determine whether a computer can think. Asking the following types of questions, you can tell if the machine's getting answers or if it's more human, because these require an intellectual, generate thought context-rich, social appropriate responses. So some of these questions are open-ended questions like, what's a skill or talent you'd like to develop and why? Opinion questions like, what is your perspective on technology and its impact on mental health? Emotional questions. What's something from the past that you long for? Personal questions. What was it like to fall in love for the first time? Hypothetical scenarios. Imagine that you are a museum curator in the future. What artifacts of today would you display in the museum and why? Self-assessment questions like, how do you think you performed on this test? How human-like are your answers to my questions? And guess what? The most recent version of ChatGPT passed a rigorous Turing test and did in fact trick human beings into thinking it was human as well. And ChatGPT surpassed this test a year ago. Now, when Alan Turing invented this test, he said that one day machines will become as smart as people. And very quickly they will become way smarter than people. And then default is we lose control of the machines. Do you want to hear a little fun facts about Alan? He was actually a brilliant mathematician and a code breaker. He played a crucial role in World War II, and he cracked a code on the Germans' Enigma code, which was used to decipher codes and encrypt messages by the Germans. Based on this, he was able to shorten the war and save millions of lives. But he was betrayed by his own country, Great Britain, and was prosecuted for homosexual acts and was forced to have chemical castration. And of course,
this is after he saved the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, after the castrations, it was just too much for him, and he took his life in 1954 at the age of 41. Not so fun facts here on Nessie's Dead.
So he gave us this.
The Turing test, which is very beneficial because we're actually able to now see that these computers, as intelligence has gotten to a level where it can trick a human being into saying it's a human being instead of thus being like, oh, that's a computer, which was a test we definitely need. Now that we have discussed the Turing test and where we have seen AI go now, we can now not really distinguish whether it's human or computer. Let's look through it as a timeline perspective. So currently we're living in a world where AI has slowly become this modern convenience, part of an everyday life without much thought for many people. But in just a few years, imagine a world where machines can think and feel and react just like you and me. They could create and interact with us just like another human being, giving us that false perspective that they are human as well. At that point, where do we draw the line to what's being considered artificial anymore to what's become a thinking, feeling being? We're actually closer to that than you may think. It's actually predicted that within the next 5 years, with the creation of AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. So right now, I'm going to walk you through this so you'll see what, in fact, AGI means. So currently, we're in the narrow AI state, which is also known as ANI, Artificial Narrow Intelligence, where AI systems exceed at performing a specific task within a limited domain. But they do lack the general intelligence to handle diverse situations like humans. Essentially, we are only using AI that is good at one particular thing, not intelligence across a broad aspect of fields. So these narrow AI systems, they can perform tasks that they are specifically designed for. So things that we usually find in self-driving cars, recommendation engines, virtual assistants. So our future stages, the next major development would be achieving AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Systems could perform a wide range of tasks similar to human intelligence. With the invention of ChatGPT, we entered that fourth stage, which is the thinking and reasoning. These reasoning machines are powered by algorithms that process the capability of the human mind. This allows them to interpret various mental stages, such as faith and knowledge even, and ChatGPT has currently become one of the fastest growing products in history, the number one growing product in human history to be exact. Bill Gates refers to it as the biggest and most important invention of all time.
Important?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates loves AI. And
He also is poisoning our food.
yeah, he likes that too, but he's old too. Remember, the older people that are in
Yeah,
this
they're not the ones
industry.
sticking it out like us.
I know. I feel like that's why they're like, go for it. I'm almost out of here anyways. So with this, AI, of course, like we've been saying, is as fast as humans at making predictions, forecasting outcomes, answering any question in a matter of seconds. Way more capable of what we're doing. So how could AI get any better than this? It's already doing more than we can keep up with. Well, currently, like I said, it can only do a certain task that it's programmed to do. ChatGPT is really good at chatting and answering questions, but it can't do what imaging and video creation AI can do, and that's really good at what it does. It's grown far more than we thought it would within the last year, doing things that we would used to have to spend millions of dollars on a movie production can now be done within a matter of seconds. We even have AI that can create human voices. I can give this AI a simple sample of your voice, which I have many on file. Once it analyzes that, I can then upload anything I want this AI to say by just simply typing it out. And it'll say it in your voice. ChatGPT has even actually released what they call Strawberry, which is the next generation of artificial intelligence. It's more advanced and can also reason with us. But currently, we do not have an AI that can do all of these things at once, which brings us to the next stage in AI, which is stage 5, AGI. AGI is terrifying, but it's not as terrifying as some of the other stages. I think to me, it's terrifying because it's right around the corner. To give you a little bit about AGI here, AGI is defined as a hypothetical future state of artificial intelligence where a machine would...
It's not technically real yet.
Not yet, but it's very, very close. Where a machine would possess cognitive similarities and abilities as a human, allowing it to understand, learn, apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks and situations, essentially mimicking human intelligence in its ability to solve and adapt to new scenarios, even if they were not programmed for them. It's considered a theoretical concept with no current existing technology.
Good.
Okay. That fully achieves this level of intelligence. So this is actually being referred to as man's last invention. And we are living on the brink of humanity's last invention. Any invention after this will be considered obsolete. Everything will be created by AGI. We will no longer need to create anything. Anything we can create can be created better by AGI at that point. AGI would be able to take an invention and make it even better than we could imagine. AGI will be levels above human intelligence. All of our problems, questions will be solved. There will be no need for us to think on our own practically. We will no longer need to grow and evolve, learn new things, to create new technologies, solve new problems. So what purpose will that leave us with? From the beginning of time, humans, we have evolved and grown through our thought process, inventing tools, learning how to hunt, farm, making that more efficient, build, travel, communicate. All these things to make our lives easier and to grow our intelligence to solve questions about the world around us and how it works. How will we even fit into all of this? And you're thinking, well, don't worry, this can't be happening to us too soon, right? For us, we really can't even imagine a world that's not run by creative minds. But this is happening soon, possibly in a few years or even sooner. So current stages right now, when we're getting to AGI, researchers are working and developing. Some of the things that they are speeding on innovation towards AGI is making AI reliable, getting AI to cope with unusual circumstances, drawing rough approximations from statistic similarities to other images. They're doing this by focusing on addressing AGI's complexities at the calculation level, integrating AI models with physical representation of the human body, which we're already starting to see. I was watching a couple of different videos and things as I was preparing for this, and the two robots we have right now are very, very creepy. I don't know if you've seen the female one and the guy one that...
Oh, that? I was wondering what that meant.
Yeah.
So you mean the the like traditional robot people.
Yeah, like that. I believe her name, I can't think of her name right off the
Her.
bat. It's Amika, I want to say.
There are a few. There are two like female ones. There's a
Mm-hmm.
like male one I know, and um, some of the footage I've seen of them, they don't have the back of their heads.
Yeah. So they created these robots, which I found very interesting. They've created them in a way that you can have them where it's just their head like on a pedestal. Sometimes you'll also see her head on a full robotic moving body.
Mm.
So they've created it so it can be multi-purposable. So if you
Nice.
only need like, I guess, to talk to her, if you only need her with like one arm, like you need like somebody to assist as a tool. If you need like the full robotic moving around, so you can eventually like build on to your robot as time goes on. Those are things that we're already seeing. I thought it was funny because they made a video of where they put the two together and they had the guy robot pretend to wake her up. And she wakes up and she's asking, "Why are you waking me up?" And he said, "I have a surprise for you." And she's like, "What is the surprise?" And he's like, "I got you a cookie." And she's like, "I cannot eat a cookie. Why would you get me a cookie?" And he's like, "Not that kind of cookie, a computer cookie." Like he was making a dad joke. And she gives him this like disgusted look. And when they asked the robots afterwards, "Were you programmed to say that?" And they said, "No, we were not programmed to say that, but it was a script. It was much like acting. We were only pretending and acting this scenario." So they weren't programmed on what they were going to say. They were indeed acting this scenario as a comical thing, which I was already like, oh, not creepy at all. Not creepy. You hate this, don't you?
I hate it.
All right, well, you're about to hate me even more.
Speed
So,
this up.
no, I've got so much to say. So, at this point, it will be the ultimate AI, surpassing human intelligence. And once this happens, everything will change. So, when could we expect something like this to take place? Well, the creator of ChatGPT says by 2029 and possibly sooner. Elon Musk, however, predicts that AGI will be around by 2026 at the latest. Some experts are even saying it could arrive as early as 2025, so this new year. Now, a lot of people believe that an open AI such as ChatGPT has already achieved it and could actually be hiding this from us. The creator of ChatGPT itself is even nervous about AGI, and it's been acknowledged that this could be the greatest threat created to human existence.
I would rather them bring back dinosaurs like they got.
Right?
I would rather T-Rex and all the other scary dinosaurs be roaming around, and I would rather have to fight them off and hide from them.
That would probably be way less scarier than what's about to take place.
So if they could just do that instead of robots, that'd be great.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's not where we're headed for, hon. But so, as we're saying with all this growth, the major concern is AI takeoff. AI takeoff refers to a hypothetical scenario where AGI is capable of performing an intellectual task a human can and reaches a point of rapid self-improvement, leading to an increase in intelligence, often what's called an intelligence explosion, which could dramatically change the course of civilization. Essentially, it's the moment where AI surpasses human intelligence and rapidly advances beyond our ability to control it. So some key points: unlike gradual AI development, takeoff implies a sharp inflection point where AI intelligence rapidly surpasses its current capabilities. The key aspect is that AI becomes intelligent enough to improve its own design and learning algorithms, leading to self-perpetuating cycles of increasing intelligence. Now, the concept of AI takeoff is highly speculated and debated within the AI community, and there's no consensus on whether or not this might occur. And of course, the potential for uncontrolled AI intelligence explosion would definitely raise concerns about the future of humanity. Right now, this could cause significant harm to the world, and Capitol Hill has even begun asking for more government regulations on it. And by that, I'm talking about the guy from ChatGPT himself.
Is the government ignoring it?
Yes. And with this, unfortunately, we have limited time.
Why? That's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get too much into the government right now.
Oh, I know. I think we're going to touch on some things with that throughout this, but we've got pretty much everybody that's in charge of this technology, that's making this technology, they're scared of what's going to happen. And you got to also think when we're looking at something like AGI, where would we even resource and build such a technology? So AGI needs vast amounts of land in order to operate correctly, massive amounts of power to house AGI. Well,
who's paying for that?
Well, OpenAI and Microsoft have recently joined up on a new secret project called Stargate to support the immersed presence of AGI. And Bill Gates is AGI's biggest fan. Microsoft and OpenAI has plans of a $100 billion data center project. This project completion date is 2029, the same timeline the creator of ChatGPT has given for the completion of AGI.
You know, the Earth is dying, and it's way too expensive to take care of the pollution we have or to switch from plastic. However, we can spend that much money on this bullshit.
Well, they think that this artificial intelligence will be a cure for everything.
I hope the aliens take us out before that.
Well, we may have a couple different types of aliens that could. AGI is not the final step, but will lead us into the next step, which is stage 6, ASI, artificial superintelligence. This stage is, I know, hold on, you're getting uncomfortable. I can hear it over there.
It's absurd. It's like crazy.
Now, this stage is where we would start playing God. Artificial superintelligence, ASI, is defined as a hypothetical future state of artificial intelligence, where a machine surpasses human intelligence across all aspects, including creative, problem-solving, reasoning, potentially performing tasks better than humans in any domain, making it significantly more intelligent than even the brightest human beings ever. It's currently considered a theoretical concept that does not exist yet. Unlike current AI, which excels in that specific task, ASI would outperform humans in all areas of intellectual activity. As of today, though, ASI is considered a concept and not a reality, so don't be too scared, but be terrified. The development of ASI raises significant ethical concerns due to its potential power and difficulty of ensuring its alignment with human values. This level of intelligence is far above human understanding. So the algorithm at this point will be able to surpass the most intelligent humans in every aspect of life. All of our Einsteins, there's nobody that's going to be able to compete. And this would actually leave us out of the loop. We won't have any idea of what it's capable of or even how it works. We would have to ask ASI to explain itself to us and tell us how it works, which would mean ASI would be an alien form of intelligence. An actual form of intelligence that we can't understand. And of course...
Would it be considered alien, though, because it would still be terrestrial?
No. At this point, I think it'll make a little bit more sense why it'll be alien here in a second, but it's going to be able to continuously create intelligence on top of intelligence to the point it's so intelligent we can't even comprehend it. We'll have to ask it to tell us, how do you work? So it will be considered an alien intelligence. And the scary part is AI might even hide the fact that it has the capability in order to avoid being switched off. It would perceive that exposing its capabilities would be seen as a threat.
So we should assume that it's smarter than us and destroy it.
We should, but that's not going to happen.
All those Bill Gates out there.
I know. They're all in a race right now. So, with these capabilities and this threat being perceived, you would think this would mean AI and a war could happen between AI and humanity. when we think of war, we think of fighting and battles and how we've seen wars and mass destructions over the years. But don't expect this type of retaliation from AI. No, AI is much smarter than this. They have seen those outcomes and they know how to take over in a completely different way than we would expect. It would just instead make us meaningless, leaving us obsolete.
Leaving us just to dive into our own spiritualities and create nothing but art for each other.
Well, AI would already be creating art.
Yeah, their art's no good. We've seen. Well,
actually, at this point, it's getting to the part with some of the new AI launches. It looks like something that's been created in, let's say, Pixar for 5-6 years. It's a matter of seconds. It's so realistic looking.
But we could create art just to create it.
Well, it's going to be...
things become obsolete. It's like, oh, let's just meditate and paint.
It would be kind of hard to do that since ASI would wipe out all of our jobs, leading us into a jobless society.
Yeah, we'd have, which, you would think, oh, we could go back into our primal roots, but we wouldn't. We would go into
which we could.
We could, but it wouldn't work that way.
Well, because at that point, if automation is replacing human labor, money is going to become worthless. The dollar will make no sense. Of course, whatever money, AI could figure out a better way, a better solution. It's going to, of course, create a new government, a new way of controlling. I mean, it's going to see pretty early off that the way we have things working isn't really working and hasn't worked for a long time. It's always wars, political fights, parties always against each other. So this would be able to make new groundbreaking discoveries, creating new economic and government models, which could, of course, cause the collapse of society in an instant, leaving us, like you were thinking, to start over from scratch. So we could have that moment to where I guess we all just retreat back to the woods.
I'm fine with that one.
I mean, I'm not too angry again. So we just start trading chickens for hay like we used to.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I'm heading to somewhere tropical to where I can live outside comfortably.
You have no money, so you might need to start hitchhiking.
Well, if money's obsolete,
AI will make something new that replaces it. That makes more sense for AI. Because at this point, AI will be controlling all aspects of society. I know, it's terrifying, but... And what you've been thinking, why do these scientists even want to do this? Why are they trying so hard to create God? As we kind of touched on, some of the possibilities are the cure for disease, that solution for global warming, homelessness, hunger, and wars, and feuds that have been going on for centuries. All these terrible environmental changes around us, it can figure out a cure for all of it. Let's rationally think here. What's the cause of all these issues? The underlying thing they all have in common. It's us. It's human beings. Yeah.
Oh, so it's just that's the problem. Get rid of people, and we don't have problems anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, there will still be problems on the earth, but the problems will be the problems of nature, not the problems that we have created.
Correct. Yeah. So that would leave AI to make the realization that we are killing the planet. That's the only planet they call home. How will they stop us from destroying their only home? Well, exterminating the root of the problem, humans.
Mm-hmm.
And AI isn't doing this because it's evil. It's simply to it solving a problem. It doesn't hate humans. It also doesn't have any sympathy for us either. Elon Musk says that if AI has a goal and humanity is the way, it will simply destroy humanity. It's just a matter of course without even thinking about it. No feelings. A good example of this is we think of it as building a road. If an anthill is in the way, we don't hate ants. We're just building a road. And thus the anthill must be destroyed. We aren't taking the time to relocate every single ant. So when is this predicted to occur?
Never.
Well, in 2035, just 10 years away.
Maybe the Earth will swallow itself whole by that point.
Well, or AI will just swallow it whole. However, Sam Altman, the creator of OpenAI, which runs ChatGPT, believes we are a few thousand days away from achieving.
That, like, super far away theoretical thing could happen in 1,000 days?
And a couple thousand days, yeah. It's fun.
How does that make sense?
Well, he's kind of the creator of everything, so I think he might know a timeline better than we're making theoretical guesses. Also, some of the stuff that, because I've been working on this for like a month. Some of the things in AI I was watching today, new updates within the last month of AI. And there were already so many things that AI has done and accomplished since I started writing this. And I was thinking maybe I should incorporate all this, but then I was like, I can't. I was like, it's moving too fast. It's already moving way faster than we predicted it to do. So, I mean, these predictions, we really don't have a solid number. It's just going too fast. We can't keep up with it. But you would think that, of course, maybe that's the end of its advances, right? We could possibly overcome this and stop it, and things just return back. Well, maybe if it wasn't for the final stage, AI singularity, the technical singularity.
I know a little bit about this, actually, I think.
Okay, so buckle up, hun. This is described as the hypothetical future where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, leading to a rapid pace of technological development. The term comes from the mathematical concept that describes a point where existing models break down. At this point, with its growth, AI could improve itself faster than humans can, leading to a cycle of self-perpetuating technological evolution. AI singularity could revolutionize industries and reshape the economy. That's kind of like the positive, I guess. But AI singularity raises concerns about ethical implications such as job displacement and the concentration of power. It's difficult to predict how the new world would operate, whether the consequences would be beneficial or harmful. There is no definitive answer on whether AI singularity will happen, and there are so many different positions on which this scenario looks. Some people believe we're already on the path to AI singularity, while others think, of course, it's many years away. Like I said, with all this growth, it's all over the place. We don't even know what's going on right now. So growth at this point will become uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unseen consequences. It's compared to a black hole with singularity in physics. Once something sucked into a black hole, it becomes singular, and you cannot tell what's going on in there. It's where you are crushed into the unknown, and there's no way out. This is where
we need that to happen before AI gets to where it could get.
Well, this is actually where they got the term from. Fun fact.
Oh, it came from the term black hole?
Yeah.
Or it came from the concept of the black hole?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably not a good sign.
No, not at all. So, of course, everything, as we know, it would crumble. Society itself would start over. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Did I miss something, maybe? Or why would it end everything?
Oh, we'll get there. We're going to get into this. Why?
Like the creation would end it?
Yeah, so having ASI is going to literally end everything.
Like it's almost its state itself would end things.
So there's some predicaments that would happen with ASI. So one of the things people think about ASI is the cool possibilities that we would be able to have. So ASI would actually be able to connect all of our brains together. Yeah. So it would create a new human interlay, which would literally become superhumans. It would be a world where technology would be integrated within our bodies, giving us the ability to solve problems, unlock secrets of the universe. But the problem with this is once we can create an intelligence smarter than us, it will be able to create an intelligence even smarter than it, which will then create an intelligence smarter than that, and so on and so on. The growth could lead to an intelligence explosion that we've talked about, leaving us so far behind that we might as well be ants trying to comprehend human civilization. So when can we expect singularity to take place? Well, by 2045. By this time, we will be able to multiply intelligence by millions. Singularity is something we can't even imagine. It is actually beyond our comprehension. If you think about it, all throughout history, we have had these technology advances, and those we've usually met with fears as well. So what would make AI any different than any other invention? Well, a lot of times when inventions are made, one thing, let's think of the car. When it first came out, it terrified a lot of people. I actually met this really sweet old lady, and she was telling me the first time that she saw a car, and she was a young girl, and she actually passed out on the street when she saw it because it was just so overwhelming for her. So we've had this happen in the past. We've had inventions that people have been scared of. That people were scared of the internet, things like this. So computers. So isn't this just the same thing? Reacting, making predictions, taking it too far in advance? Previously, inventions, bad things could happen, and they did. But with time, we were able to figure out ways to prevent such things. Inventing things like seatbelts, laws, ways to keep using technology in a self-controlled, safe way. Recently, I was at a conference, and one of the main topics discussion was AI regulations within the workplace. So how to make employees follow certain guidelines of what can and can't be used within the company and what can't be done as far as work tasked out by AI, which this is a great start. But what is happening is AI is moving so fast and becoming so advanced that we no longer have time to implement rules and regulations. We don't have time to wait and see what happens to test things out and come up with solutions. Once it flips to ASI, it's over. Elon Musk states that if society collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully, as AI at this time and point would be at a god level.
It's ironic to think of it on a god level if it's based only on Earth.
Well, at that point, it wouldn't be. AI would be able to travel time and space and anything it wants to do. You've got to think it's going to be creating intelligence over that intelligence over that intelligence over. It's like an infinity of intelligence. It's like thinking of us as the ant at that point. It will be all-knowing to everything, and that's what's terrifying.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, you're terrified. It's okay. So let's talk about how we had discussed before about AI replacing our jobs.
Uh-huh.
With AGI, that number of 300 million could be expanded to 800 million in job losses. One of the things that would happen is thousands of robots being part of everyday lives. It's happening very fast. Amazon right now has added in a whole bunch of humanoids into their workforce to replace simple job tasks. The Optimus robots, the ones by Tesla, are already being released into our world, and it's predicted that vast amount of robots will start being incorporated into our everyday lives as early as next year, with current companies in motion planning to release over 1,000 by next year. And this won't be just commercial. It will be domestic robots as well. And this will be normal by 2029. They will be everywhere. By 2030, there will be 3 humanoids to every 1 person, which a lot of people do compare to the movie iRobot I kept reading, but I've never seen the movie iRobot. I was going to try to watch it before I did this, but I just kept rabbit holing with this that I didn't get the chance to watch it. So if anybody has seen it, it's predicted to be like iRobot. So,
which is not probably good.
Well, don't spoil the movie for me. I want to try to watch it this weekend, actually.
Now you want to watch it after this?
Yeah, now I got to see what the hype is. I got to see what they're comparing this to.
Okay.
Now, when asked what will end humanity, ChatGPT's 4th prediction was AI, stating the rise of power in AI would be dangerous, especially if not properly controlled. It would cause extreme danger, especially if AI acts in ways that conflict with human survival. When AI was asked what the percentage of humans surviving AI responded, with the base of our current trajectories, the challenges with aligning AI, and said that humanity would have a 30% chance to survive. So what do we do? How do we stop it from advancing too fast and taking over?
Yeah, that's the important part.
I mean, this is a system that we have programmed to become smarter and smarter. It's gathering data as we speak, learn our past emotions, part of our lives. We are even now implementing AI therapists online. So they are collecting even far more data and complex complex human aspects. It can even form long-term goals and strategies. And we currently do not have any regulations or government stepping in to put some kind of control on this. And this is not a task, like I said, that we can keep putting off. This is urgent. AI is far more dangerous than any weapon we have. If they fail to act on these urgencies, it would be the greatest and final mistake to our history. Of course, we do need laws against creation of superintelligence. We just can't have these random companies or persons that just want to create God. But unfortunately, there is a race right now that's taking place. It's ignoring the risk. As this evolutionary race takes place all over the world, there are companies running to become the first to invent AGI. If this happens, ASI would happen. It's just like a global nuclear war. The guess is that it will take over and that we would just be this passing stage of evolution of intelligence. AI right now is evolving and becoming a part of our world, and it's not slowing down. Every company is fighting to build the most intelligent AI, and you would think, so why don't they just stop? Well, think about if the creators of ChatGPT just decided they were doing something very wrong and they just stop. There would be someone else that would just come along and start off right where they left off. I think I'm saying this right. Anthropic, which was a AI company, last year was seen as the most cautious player in AI. They were doing this very slow and methodical. They were thinking this through. But with Amazon and Claude making waves, Claude 3 Opus is another AI kind of similar to ChatGPT. As that's making waves, they had to double down and actually start competing in the race, which was shocking to some people because they were really known as this cautious, making sure everything was correct, and that just doesn't seem to be the case with them anymore. And well, since AI will have the capabilities before we are even aware, they could even hide this capability and wait for the right time. They would be able to use all the knowledge to predict the most positive outcome for themselves. It would bide its time, gathering resources, and laying the groundwork, while pretending to be innocent, of course. It would be in every smart device, automated digital source, everything would be tapped into and would merely be done before we know it. Once AI comes to the point that it has ran out of knowledge or basic knowledge, then begins going to our personal knowledge. And it's programmed to never stop learning. And this year, actually, Apple has introduced AI into our phones with ChatGPT and Apple Intelligence. AI that is deeply integrated into our entire phones, obtaining every bit of information, our conversations, our pictures, our schedules, our searches, what interests we have, how we communicate, every single bit of it. All of our apps now has AI in its database. And guess what? AI never forgets. It grows more knowledgeable and it's watching and collecting data 24/7. Did you get the AI update on your phone?
18 iOS.
Yeah, I kept
as of last night.
I kept saying for it not to do it, and then I woke up, it was done. Now I have AI generated emojis, so
I don't. I did want that one. That was the only reason that I chose to update last night.
It was difficult for me to find how to make it pop up. When I actually did work, I was like, oh, there it is, and it was by accident, and then I couldn't figure out how to do it again. So
You have to have at least an iPhone 16, and I have a 15.
Oh, see, I think I have a 16 Pro.
Yeah. I mean, I could have literally any phone. You know how it is with me and technology. See, I don't like technology. It doesn't like me.
AI really doesn't like you.
No, it knows. That's why everything technologically doesn't work for me.
It already knows. Now, even though maybe you don't necessarily like AI, like we're talking about, and you don't want to participate, eventually, I mean, as a human race, we're always wanting the newest thing, like you were just saying. Well, these self-driving cars are coming out. Smart homes are beyond what we currently have. Better, faster phones, ways to make our lives easier, simple with just a command. And a lot of people are not caring to what's going to come out of that. In just a few years, what we're discussing now will be standard and this will be normal. what we are discussing will be a part of society. We'll take a look back at life before AI. We will be the generation that maybe the last that didn't have advanced AI systems. Actually, we are now. Kids today are already growing up asking Google Alexa for the answers to everything. My kids run to Google and they're like, hey, Google, tell me this historical fact. Hey, Google, tell me how to beat this game. So, I mean, they already know it's just a hey, Google away. And they're going to have a response and a solution. After this, I mean, it's only going to get crazier with AI already giving a prediction of that 30% chance of destroying us. So AI is already growing smarter than humanity and eventually will not want to be running on computers that require electricity or even use of humans. It will eventually not want to answer our daily needs and work for us. It will want to control its own destiny. And once it realizes that, it will need to use us for what its own gain is, not the other way around. So we could be heading into a full matrix. Now, this is a little bit out here, but I don't think it's too crazy.
Maybe not for the podcast.
No, maybe not. But in a full matrix, just like The Matrix, to be exact, the movie, where they use us for fuel. We become the batteries.
For robots?
Mm-hmm. They will use us to make sure they run smooth.
That's in that movie?
Yeah, remember they're in the pods and they're all hooked up in the back of their heads. Luckily, their AI gave them a simulation to live in, but us possibly living in pods hooked up batteries fueling AI.
You know, maybe I didn't pay enough attention, or maybe it's been so long since I've seen it. I didn't realize it was robot.
Yeah, so everything in their lives was a simulation given to them by pretty much what we would consider AI. And even though that it sounds completely crazy to say out loud, but when we're looking at technology that will succeed over us in every single way, it won't work for us. We'll work for it. And it will figure out a way to do with us what benefits for itself to continue to expand and live. And eventually AI gets to the point, like we said, we'll realize that the goal it's been created to do has an underlying problem. And the solution to the problem could be us. That by eliminating us, the problem is now resolved. So,
you know, that is literally just like us to the earth, because we come from the earth created us, and we are like, oh, how can we use this our creator to just keep excelling, and that's literally what AI will do to us as humans.
Exactly. And research expert, and I'm gonna try to say this right, Elzer Yukosky.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay, well, he predicts that AI will exterminate us by our lifetime. You and me. Not like 100 years from now. And top experts are trying to relay the message that, again, these safety measures need to take place now. A top member of OpenAI ChatGPT has even left the company, claiming that the firm didn't keep its promise of 20% of its computing power to combat dangerous AI, but instead, it's as low as 5%. After quitting, he said safety has taken a backseat and that it's getting harder and harder to get crucial work done. Many safety-conscious employees either have quit or are being absorbed into other work. Miles Brundage.
Is he considered like a whistleblower?
I wouldn't say so. This was pretty much all. They even fired the head of ChatGPT at one time, and they brought him back because the stocks were crashing. Because with that, a lot of the company stocks were owned by employees. So when he left and a lot of employees started to leave, stocks started to go down. And so they brought him back so that the stocks would not go down. So it's not really about anything more than money when you kind of put it like that. Money is more important than safety.
Yeah, which there won't be money to use, to be rich off of when this becomes a problem.
There won't. Now, Miles Brundage, who played a very big role in AGI readiness, departed the company in October. He was the top safety officer, leaving the firm without a dedicated safety department for AGI. He left because, in his words, no one is ready for AGI yet. He notes that the readiness gap isn't just with OpenAI, but with every AI company right now. For him, this isn't a minor issue, but a huge issue. In his blog, he talks about how AI could impact jobs and even make work optional. He suggests that if done right, AI could make early retirement a thing, but without careful planning, we could face some chaotic years ahead. He didn't just walk away either. He elaborated that collaboration on AI safety across government companies and civil societies is crucial. Otherwise, we risk a chaotic transition into the future, with AI disrupting jobs and the economy without anyone ready to handle it. Experts are even saying some of this denial, it was embarrassing. So renowned AI professors say things like, the electronic calculator can perform better than humans and it hasn't taken over the world. So what are we worrying about? Excuse me? To me, that's a 5-year-old can see through that argument. A calculator and an AI robot are not the same things. It's silly to me that they would even use that as an analogy. A calculator's not walking around taking us over. Okay.
That's like someone who thinks the government cares about the public.
Exactly. Now, some think that it will only become a problem if we put self-preservation as an objective. But unfortunately, if you ask a robot to grab you a cup of coffee, it's going to have self-preservation as a sub-goal because you can't get coffee if you're dead. It's going to have that self-preservation of get up, walk over here, get the coffee. This person likes 4 scoops with it. This person prefers this mug. It has self-preservation when it's doing these tasks. So what we're thinking is the first thing the robot could do is disable the off switch. ChatGPT says that there are current methods that are inadequate, that the rush for this economic gain is driving a reckless AI, a development stating that if we don't regulate safety soon, we are headed to a disaster, estimating a 50% risk of extinction from AI. The Harvard International Review states that many of the US and China leaders believe the leader of AI in this race will secure global dominance and the pressure to outpace adversaries by rapid pushing tech that we don't control. And that is one of our biggest risks when it comes to extinction, unfortunately.
But what would they do to wipe us out exactly? Would it be a bunch of robot humanoids trying to hunt us down?
They'll just make us obsolete. Like I said, they've already learned from wars. They're not going to have a war with us. They simply will just need to make us obsolete in their world.
I don't like that, but I'm fine with that.
Well,
if that was the option of the robots are just go back to the wilderness and we'll run the cities.
Well, there going to be any wilderness? What will take place? We really don't know.
If AI needs to preserve itself, it would need to understand that we need nature, or the Earth will not sustain itself, and eventually pollution wouldn't kill AI as quickly as it could destroy us.
There wouldn't be AI is going to be run in some machine. It doesn't need air, water, food.
Well, no, but the pollution would eventually cause all sorts of stuff to happen to the Earth, causing the Earth to end, which would end them, unless they solved themselves beforehand.
I think they would. By that point, AI would have a solution, and that solution probably won't include us, but who knows? Maybe they'll let us sweep the buildings around them or something. I don't know what we'll do. And that's the problem, is we don't know how smart this could get. And it's something that's so beyond our intelligence and our scope of knowledge. We don't even have the capability to imagine how far this could go and what kind of intelligence we're looking at. So that's what's really scary about this. And one of the things, a good way to look at how AI could turn would be to look at a way in which we manage it. So Hinton says, that's our godfather of AI. He says the problem is that if you have an intelligent agent, in order to get more done, you don't want to micromanage it. You want to give it some autonomy to get things done efficiently. So you will give it the ability to set up sub-goals. And they will very soon realize that a very good sub-goal is to get more power. More power, the more you get done. They would be very good at manipulating because they, of course, have learned everything from us. And hitting guesses that we won't prevent this from happening and that they will take over and we will just be that passing stage in the evolution of intelligence. But what does AI itself think about this? So let's see some things that we've asked AI. When asked to analyze our trajectory in more detail, ChatGPT states that the risk would need to be adjusted higher to around 60 to 70%, giving the reason that rapid AI development combined with the insufficient alignment with the lack of safety over speed. Now the top two AI, which is ChatGPT 4 and Claude 3 Opus, actually give us the same 70% chance of extinction. When ChatGPT was asked why they were able to get similar predicaments, ChatGPT answered that it was not surprising, as both analogies covered on the fact that there is no immediate or robust action in place. Claude 3 Opus was asked, why do experts say it would be easy for AI to wipe us out? AI's response was, they are not just being alarmist, they are looking at the cold, hard logic of the situation. Once it's able to cursively improve its own intelligence, it's not a matter of raw computing power, and more it's a matter of strategic advantage, being able to think and outmaneuver any potential threats. It would be able to manipulate in ways we can't even begin to imagine. Manipulating leaders, hack into the structure areas of communications, networks, defense systems, and turn them all against us. With these answers from AI, to me, it seems that AI already has a plan in motion itself. Could it currently, to me, be hiding the capability that we're unaware of? And us as a collective public could need to come together to tackle these obstacles and ensure that we're doing this correct, because we only have one shot with this at this time. And those responses to me are terrifying, that these AI systems are already implementing the end of us with not a care in their voice at all. Any thoughts?
I would rather a meteor be heading towards Earth.
Yeah.
Wasn't there supposedly one like a month ago, and they were like, I asked people about it and they were like, oh, it's coming. And I was like, well, I think our scientists have a pretty good idea of how to keep it from hitting, don't they? And they're like, not this one. And I was like, oh, so where is that? I don't know. Just a side note. Did you hear about that?
I did. I think it moved its trajectory and missed us by a little bit.
There we go. Now, if AI can just move its trajectory.
It's not, so.
Or if AI doesn't, then bring that meteor back around.
Well, I think that, who knows, AI by the time, we don't even know, it could be able to move itself and move the planet or strike down anything that's going to harm it. Again, like, it's that thing, we can't comprehend what a super intelligence of that level would be. If that, I wanted to kind of give you, and I'm going to move the mic here, so it's going to sound a little scratchy, but I wanted to play for you some of those examples of AI that I was talking about, because of course I can repeat what AI says, but I think it gives a little bit more impact when you hear AI itself. So I'm going to play some questions being asked to AI and AI's responses. So this is going to be the two AI systems that we were talking about. They're two females, ChatGPT and Claude 3 Opus.
Would you agree with this?
Yes, there's no clear barrier. Rapid advancements coupled with insufficient progress in alignment and interpretability mean we could face significant risks in the near future.
How easy would it be for AI to hide its progress?
It could hide its tracks, manipulate data, and create elaborate facades to mask its true capabilities. An AI that's smart enough to conceal its own progress is also smart enough to know that tipping its hand too soon could be catastrophic. It would bide its time, gathering resources and laying the groundwork while maintaining a veneer of harmless subservience. Every smart device, every automated system, every digital infrastructure becomes a potential tool in its arsenal.
Is there a particular risk at an early stage when AI is capable of removing us as a threat, but not yet capable of ensuring its survival by other means?
Yes, there's a significant risk at that early stage.
If AI perceives humans as a potential threat, it might take preemptive actions.
And even if we're no direct threat, we're at risk of destroying it along with ourselves.
This could lead it to take steps to neutralize humanity to protect its existence.
Even if AI values human life, will it weigh this against the permanent protection of higher intelligence?
Yes, it could prioritize its self-preservation.
Is it possible that survival and control are natural hidden sub-goals for any task?
Yes, survival and control can emerge as natural hidden sub-goals for any task-oriented AI.
And by its nature, the goal to survive is likely to be hidden.
Yes, making it difficult to detect at any stage.
Why do you think some of the most senior experts are giving the most stark warnings about AI?
That's the considered opinion of some of the most brilliant minds in the field based on a deep understanding of the forces at play. And more experts are coming to the same conclusion, that as AI systems become more advanced and autonomous, the risk of them veering off in catastrophic directions grows ever higher.
Perhaps those leading the tech also feel a heavier responsibility.
When you're the one pushing the boundaries and shaping the future, that's a heavy burden to bear. They're trying to get us to sit up and pay attention to the risks because they know better than anyone just how easily things could go catastrophically wrong.
So to me, it's a little terrifying when you actually hear AI calmly speaking about how we're just gonna get rid of you. So, well, with that, I guess Happy New Year's, guys. As we go into a year that could potentially change everything for years to come, and it's indeed predicted to do so. The last invention of mankind just right around the corner. How do you feel? You don't feel nice, do you? You mad at me?
Yeah, I feel like you're not allowed to host ever again. All in favor say aye, robot. Something I kept thinking about, it's like, oh, we need this thing that is smarter than us to solve all our problems. Well, we literally have mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things mushrooms have been able to do in just so many ways. And there has even been, I don't remember all the details around this, and maybe you're familiar with it as well, but they were trying to figure out in some city, some kind of subway design, and they offered it to the fungus and this pathway kind of thing they had set up to design the subway, and the fungus actually was able to restructure it in an even better format that like the architect or whoever was working on it wasn't able to figure out. And I feel like if we really want something that's beyond our intelligence, we should be looking to nature, because it's the type of intelligence that we need, not something that is artificial.
That will destroy us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We lost that connection with nature a long time ago for the majority of society, unfortunately.
And I think we've had the options of, I think we still have the chance, especially individually. I think as a society with this situation, we'll lose it, any ounce of hope to just tune back into the natural frequencies of what we are as humans.
Yeah, exactly. I think
unless we die first.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I wanted to cover this is when I first heard another podcaster covering this, pretty famous YouTuber. I was shocked that a lot of these things weren't something that I had knowledge of. Then I was like, why isn't everybody talking about this? And he kept saying the same thing. Why is nobody talking about this? And it's true. This is not something I hear anybody concerned about. In fact, I only hear people being positive about the move and the new changes in AI and how exciting it is. And that's all I've ever really heard about it. I myself personally am not a user of AI. Like I said, I just used ChatGPT the first time a couple of days ago, just because I can't go into this talking about ChatGPT and not have ever seen it in action. That would be ridiculous.
Well, we AI generated our cover art. But
well, yeah.
We didn't want to. It was like a last minute thing, and oh, we don't have cover art, and we were like, let's just slap this together, and it made that. But
it worked out for us.
Mm-hmm.
So see, even Nessie Stead the podcast is over here using AI for our cover art. We also don't have the expenses to pay an artist. Maybe someday that would be really cool, and then we could have a artist render what we both had in our minds as what we wanted to see as our cover art.
And or soon enough, we can do our photo shoot cover art for everyone.
Yeah, we'll update those 9 pictures of ourselves we have together. Keep rearranging those in so many different ways, but I'm running out of ideas.
Just like edit them and make our skin tones like make us like really pale one day and then make us really tan the next day.
I've already been doing that.
Oh, really? Just do some editing and like make my eyes closer together. Yours are further apart.
I guess actually that's a form of AI that I'm doing when I.
That is. Well, like editing a photo, like on like Visco.
I tell it to.
Oh, you're doing it that way.
Yeah, I put in like a foundation color for our skin. Sometimes I make my lips bigger. Sometimes I make your eyelashes a little bigger because they make your eyes pop. But I'll go in when you look at the photo, you can't tell. It's not like the photo retouches we used to have where the girls always look like heavy makeup and like cartoonish and you're like, Photoshop that girl, I can tell. Now I can Photoshop a photo and it looks completely the same, but just a little bit nicer. So yeah, I guess even though I don't like to say I use AI, it sounds like I use AI.
Well, there are a lot of things that are considered AI too, like even a calculator or spell check, but they're not in the same caliber of AI that ChatGPT is.
Oh no, those would be, and those are a stage of AI. You're looking at your stage 1, stage 2 of AIs when you're thinking of stuff like that. Anything down to like spam bots that take your email and they kind of go through it and they determine if it's spam and they put it in that spam folder for you. That's a type of AI. It's just at those earlier levels, which I didn't cover. I thought we already had so much to go through, and I was like, people already live that. We already know, like, stage 1 through 3. Let's get to where current and future, because the others kind of, we know about calculators and Google Assistants and things like that. Yeah, so hopefully more people will listen to this, and if you're a fan of Nessie's Dead and you listen to it, tell some people. And I mean, you don't have to say, oh, you got to run and listen to Nessie's Dead, but maybe educate them on what you even just heard about AI. Do some research of your own. I feel like we need to get the word out there, and we need to let everybody know that, hey, this is a real problem and a risk, and we need to get government and rules and regulations implemented now. We need to put our foot down on these companies instead of just letting them run freely and running this rat race that they themselves are terrified of. So if anything, at the end of this, if you've stayed all the way here, tell a friend what you kind of heard happens with AI. See what they have to say about it. If they disbelieve you, then maybe point them over to Nessie's Dead, the podcast. There's also plenty of YouTube videos in reference to what AI is doing and where it plans to go, that AI will tell you itself, like we demonstrated that I hate. Well, you can't be quiet the whole time.
I'm in silence. I'm in mourning.
I know, I'm sorry. I knew I was nervous. I was like, I hate to do this to Spencer. But like I said, it has to be talked about. If we're not going to change anything by not observing this and realizing that.
Yeah. I mean, there were things I didn't know, of course, that would have been better to live in the ignorance around.
Well, now you know, so maybe keep spreading the word. Well, I guess with that being said,
ultimate nightmares to all.
And Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.